me and my sister and then me and my partners at Verb, what we kind of always have thought is you create the market. Because as media leads in whichever field, you would be the one creating the market. The moment you put stuff out, they'll be like, oh, they're doing that. And then other people might follow. And if they don't follow, then you know that it's either too hard to follow or like pull off.
Fahad Reaz Khan is the creative director of vrbworks, a consultancy agency for fashion brands in Dhaka. He started his creative journey as a content creator where he made videos with his sister, Raba Khan, for the Jhakanaka Project. Other than his consultancy practices, Fahad has been heavily involved in creating many music videos for the indie music scene in Bangladesh and used to be a prominent radio jockey and has also worked with various brands in multiple media and marketing campaigns. In this episode of the State of the Creators podcast, we cover what it's like to be a creative in a niche industry and how to take your work to the next level when you've such a specific targeted audience. And if you're a regular in this podcast, you know this is the part I do the plugin, so feel free to skip ahead. But if you're new, it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know what? I've got insights, I've got analytics, and I can see that 80%, 90% of you who are watching the podcast aren't subscribed to the channel. That breaks my heart, guys. So please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. And if you like cool digital content, I curate a list of them every week. Stuff that I find enjoyable over the internet, and I've been sending them out on a fortnightly basis. So sign up to the newsletter. It's www.tausifakas.com. More importantly, I hope you're safe, you're healthy, and you're sane. It's just been a crazy start to the year. It's already June. I mean, it's just insane. So I hope you're keeping well. Here is the State of the Creators podcast featuring Fahad Reaz Khan with me, Tausif Akas. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the State of the Creators, a show about creative individuals who are on a quest to build something out of nothing.
Like, do you put it behind us talking?
Once I release it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a jingle.
No, as in like behind the talking the whole time.
Oh, no. Okay. It's just going to be straight
That's
out.
how we used to do radio. We used to put up audio the whole time. The whole time. That's just a thing, that's the culture here, I think.
Hey, on the radio as well.
Yeah, on the radio.
Oh, yeah, the very happy checked.
It's called bed audio, so that if there's a pause, the radio is told, if there's no wavelengths traveling through, the radio is told to put a backup track on it. So they have to have a bed audio so that people can pause. Otherwise, they would kick it in. Because the radio is like 24 hours, so they're scared.
Makes sense. Is that all good?
Recording, yeah.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Before anything else,
yeah.
What does a creative director do?
Oh, man. Depends on the company that I'm creative directing. So recently I did this shoot with Naveen Ahmed for Gala Makeover Lounge.
Yep.
So creative director of that shoot, produced it as well. It's one of her first ever like truly like fashion focused shoots.
Okay.
She's very makeup focused,
Yeah.
and so they collaborated with Checkmate Events, which is a photography company and also an event company.
Okay.
They specialize in weddings. What they did together was they added me into the mix so that they could work with fashion in that way. So when I was producing that, creative directing it entailed that I put my knowledge of fashion into it.
Okay.
So whenever, depending on the company, like when I work with Verb, it's a bit different. Putting my production and like media knowledge into it is kind of what that entails there.
Right.
So depending on the company, really. But
Okay.
Creative director really does just tell people what to do and then make the thing feel a little bit more creative, I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah, just like
That's
when
a good
people...
definition.
Yeah, just like looking through... When someone sees the final product, they're like, oh, this was maybe a little bit more innovative than normal.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that just came out. It just we put some thought into it, and that's kind of the thought would be what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So so the people unfamiliar with your work, who is Fahad Reaz Khan?
Oh man, I've been Fahad Reaz Khan. You would have to be familiar with my work, otherwise I'm nobody.
You're not. Okay.
I'm nobody. Like really, my work is.
That means the work speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean,
it speaks on your behalf,
yeah,
which is exactly what we're after.
Yeah, like because Fahad Reaz Khan is just a name until you like, oh, Fahad Reaz Khan's the guy who did that, or Fahad is the guy who did, because otherwise I'm just like, because like me and my sister, we say this kind of the same thing, is like we don't have this like large net of friends who would like vouch to be like, this is that guy who's this person's friend. That's not a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a lot of ways a lot of people define themselves too, is that guy who's like, it's like 10th grade Scholastica.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
So it just, that's not there, because we went to these like private schools that are like very small amount of students. We didn't have too many peers. So, and then a lot of these peers left the country to go study, or like they were from another country, so they just went back home.
Right.
So we have a lot few people to kind of vouch for us and be like, who are we?
Yeah.
So our identity isn't attached to anyone's memory.
Right.
So we say that. So really what we had to do is make our work speak for ourselves. So we got stuck in that kind of loop.
Okay. So what, in that case, what are the works that
I'm really proud of the stuff that we did together with Worth It. I'm really proud of that.
That was really good. That was
yes.
fantastic.
Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So Worth It by Little Aid, you can YouTube it.
Yeah.
YouTube it.
Yeah.
So you can do that. That's a really cool music video that we produced.
Yeah.
There's that. I art directed that music video as well.
Yep.
Me and Ghazi Nafi did as well.
Yep.
Ghazi Nafi did incredible prop work, incredible like implementation as well. Like some of the stuff I have some BTS photos on my Instagram of him like getting on a ladder and like doing the wallpaper himself.
He did the thing for Hobiki as well.
Yeah.
Both of them did by Ijaz, of course.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good friend. He's like great.
Yeah.
Like his the way he works also is insane, because he'll look at a shot and be like, all right, scrap it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, what is going on?
You know,
but he'll do it.
The funniest thing is I only met him once in my life. That's it.
Yeah.
We have known each other for almost 6-7 years.
Yeah.
I've done maybe 3 or 4 big projects like this. Met him once. That's it. And that was only last year.
Wow.
And that was only because we had to talk about Hobiki. Like there was something we were like, we have to meet.
Yeah.
And we didn't take a photo.
Oh.
So nobody will believe us.
No.
Unless Crimson Cup gives
security
us a
cameras.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Oh man. There's a couple of people I met in Crimson Cup that I'm gonna need some CCTV footage of that too. Yeah.
So would you say on a day-to-day scale you are a creative director, you are a businessman? Would that be an appropriate entrepreneur?
So I'm an entrepreneur in the sense where I have a couple companies. So we have Jhakanaka Business, which is our business development company. So me and my sister run Jhakanaka Digital, which has Jhakanaka Business inside of it, which is helps young creators create improve their businesses.
Yep.
All right, that's one.
Yep.
Another one of it is Jhakanaka Digital. What it does is digital consultancy. So we've been in the digital media world for like 5 years now. Yep. So 2014 is when we started like doing YouTube. But when we started doing YouTube, we were already looking through the marketing aspects of YouTube and utilizing it through branding and sponsorships and stuff like that. So we worked with the digital firms like like Magneto or like B2P, like people who have like also digital wings. Yeah, these are like
big agencies.
Big agencies, but they also have digital wings. Yeah. So like even Asiatic has Asiatic Digital, JWT, and companies like that. Every single big company will kind of have that. Like Gray also has Gray, but they also have a team of like very dedicated digital people who kind of implement there. Right. So we've been working with them. So since we have this relationship with them, so we take companies, we take work from companies, we just consult them onto what their next step should be to enter this market, the digital, because so many companies have it's kind of the opposite of the Western world, where there's so many digital companies who want to start a shop or they want to start a physical store. We have companies here who have 5-10 physical stores who want to hit that digitally sold market, like the online sales, e-commerce market. And the kind of way to market that would be to market to the younger generation who kind of knows how to use that technology, blah, blah, blah. So that's where we come in, Jhakanaka Digital. We've worked with Dhaka recently.
Okay, wow.
Dhaka's launch was, we created a Dhaka launch video. We directed it. My sister directed it and I produced it.
Okay.
There's that as well. We wrote it as well, sorry.
Okay.
So there's that, and then we worked with, we're working with Bia Shamla, which is an app. Yep. Yeah, that's a great app. Bia Shamla app, we worked there, and then we're continuing working with clothing brands as well. So, and then of course there's Verb, which is another business.
Tell me about Verb. I want to know more about Verb because the work that you put on Instagram is fantastic.
Thank you.
I love
There's so much more work we need to post. We're just so lazy about it. We're not lazy. It's just like we want it to look good too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, of course.
Hey, I get to shoot.
That's interesting because I want to talk about quality after, like quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
That
Thank
whole
you.
thing.
Yeah.
But it's great quality work that you put out there. So yeah, tell me more about Verb.
So Verb is like a fashion consultancy company. It's the first of its kind here.
Yep.
But we wanted a fashion consultancy company here because we kept seeing, we were like fashion forward people. So like Laisul Haq, Shimtana Shamim, Fahad Reaz Khan. These are the three members. These are us. And we started Verb. Verb's whole concept is speaking to businesses, which is fashion businesses, and then trying to get the most out of them, if they hire us. Just getting the most fashionably forward stuff out of it. And of course, we produce the shoots as well. We shoot video, we shoot photo. We will help with experience design, shop design, storefront. We'll do, we'll like reorganize your racks for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like we'll like put new mannequins in, like we put whatever it takes to take your business to the next level and then make it more fashion forward. Like we're not going to go handle your accounts. You know what I mean? We're a fashion consulting company. We're not a financial consultancy company. So
do you target
focused.
Mostly smaller or medium, large? Like what's your usual target business?
We've worked with really like much smaller businesses that have no physical store at all. We don't have like physical store isn't a definition of small or big. That's another thing, of course. But they don't have a physical store. They don't have a large amount of sales. They're very slow fashion, which is like they'll make made to order stuff. So we work with them. Very like talented people as well. We've also worked with very large companies who have 10 stores. We've done shoots for them. We've consulted with them. We've done videos. We've done screen content for them as well. So it's really a variation based on what each client needs. We've worked with Clubhouse, which is a great company. Great company. They've kind of I gotta say, like, they've kind of revolutionized what. There's like a sense of ageless fashion where you could walk in a Clubhouse and you can be like 15 and you can be 40 and you could wear their clothes and that'd be great. You can like money, but imagine that for any other other shop here. Previously, not to name names, but there's companies like that who you would not be able to wear everything in the store. Like walking in as a dude, you can't wear all the dude's clothes you can't. There's so much of it is like, oh, that's not for me. But Clubhouse really makes it. We like that about them. We like that about them. That's why we work with them as well.
Okay. And you've also done some radio work as well in the past.
I've worked at radio 3.5-4 years almost.
Wow.
Radio Furti.
As an RJ.
As an RJ, yeah. I started off with my sister. We had a show called What's In, and that's teen. What's in that's teen. And then we were the youngest radio jockeys in the country at the time.
Wow.
She was the youngest radio jockey in the country. I was the second youngest radio jockey in the country. 2015 is when we started. And we just worked our way from there.
Tell me about, I guess, a bit about yourself in getting into these avenues growing up. Actually, we'll take a step back. You're in Australia, right? We lived in Australia till I was like 7. Were you born there? Or
no, I was born here. I went there before I was 1, I think. Yeah, around there. Not clear on the time because like my parents aren't even clear on the time. They're like, yeah.
Sometime.
I figured it out. Whatever. I think I had my 1-year birthday, but I wasn't even on my 1-year birthday. So we had our 1-year birthday here, and then I went off there, and my sister was born there. So it was just the two of us, me and my sister. We just grew up there, and then we came back.
Well, and how old were you when you came back?
7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess and then you've pretty much lived here.
Yeah, we lived here the whole time. Yeah, so she had this like citizenship thing where we would have to go back and forth, and we didn't. So we just didn't. And you live in
Perth, Australia.
Australia, right? Always Perth.
Always Perth.
Always been Perth. That's cool.
Perth. It's I've moved there like almost 10 years now. It's crazy. But just coming back.
So like here, Perth's home.
That's that's a separate podcast series. Identity crisis.
Is Perth home?
Perth is home now for sure.
Yeah.
Every day, I remember going back. I'm going there for the first time. Dhaka felt like Dhaka's home. And somewhere in the middle, that tone started changing. I remember this one specific time. I was out with my friends. I was here for like winter vacation. I was out there with my friends, and I was like telling the story. I was like, back home, but I was in Dhaka.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's crazy.
And that's when hit me as, you know what, it's you know, it changes your perception as you stay there for but I think perks definitely help.
Same thing here. Like I remember saying one day, because I think it took like 5 years for me. 5 years for me to be like, all right, I'm good. I don't have to go back. Because it was my childhood.
Right.
Like childhood. I'm talking like everything I knew about the world was that. Like when I said, when you said like, oh, you got to drink milk, in my head, that's like carton milk from like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But
all the formative years were.
All my formative, so like, but then people are like, oh, have milk, but now, and then it was just powdered milk and water, stirred up. I was like, that's not the same. That's not milk. So I used to be like that, and I used to not drink it at all. So everything formative in a child's life was like over there. So everything, so that's difficult to be like, that's that is home. That's where I grew up. That's where I was like, I felt like I was born there. You know, it was like, I remember opening my eyes to Australia. Technically, you know, I don't have memory from here. So that was difficult as well. But like my sister's kind of the opposite. So we're like 2 years apart. So ours is a bit different, where it's like she had all of her teen years and all of her kind of formative years kind of here. So it's kind of different. We have an identity difference as well. Of course. And like our accents are different as well. So people are like, you're not brother, sister. I'm like, that's
it's us. So at what point growing up at that stage did you kind of realize, okay, this is what I want to do? Or was it more like, you know what, this is not, you're in a certain path and you're like, you know, screw this path, I want to get into more creative side of things? Was there any, what's your story in there?
So my parents are very creative. That's why we're in our place right now. My dad's a businessman and my mom's also a businesswoman. So right now, but they put their creativity into it, a lot of it, pretty much everything they do. So my dad will like have the branding for the business that he's starting fully done and packed before like the trade licenses, you know what I mean? He's like very much a creative person before anything at all. And then he put that into that. My dad had a press when we were much younger, when we came here. And that press was very like graphics focused, and we used to work with a lot of book people. So he's very big on books as well. We have this home library. He's like very pushes us to do exactly what his like brother's kids are not doing. So the brother's kids are like, yo, one's a doctor and one's an engineer. It's like, you're not going to be a doctor at all.
Oh, fantastic.
He's kind of like, he's always been a kind of off the rails, on the rails kind of guy always. So he just kind of pushed us to be literally whatever his peers and his peers' kids are not doing. So you're going to do this thing. And when we came up to him, it was like, YouTube. He was like, what is that? And then I was like, it's video streaming. Well, we make videos and then people will watch it. He never was like, who's going to watch it? So that's kind of where it deviates from like other parents, I feel like. He didn't just like, who's going to watch your shit? He didn't say that. He was like, cool.
So because I remember watching the Jhakanaka Project. That was what, 4 or 5 years ago now. And I think you guys were pretty much the first of its kind in a, I guess, YouTube scene that was just doing pranks essentially, or
not really pranks, but we're just doing sketches.
Correct. So it's like, you know, like in a YouTube scene that was just doing pranks. You were first of its kind to do stuff that's different to pranks. Essentially. You know, I remember because you stated the videos, and I guess that's how I found you out. It was how creative your editing was, and you know, even at the back of the, considering what it was back then. And for me, it's understanding that creative side of things coming into play. Like, at what point you're like, I want to do YouTube. It
came from us watching a lot of Jenna Marbles. So Jenna Marbles really used to make whatever the hell she pleased. And that kind of opened up a concept in her head, was like, oh, YouTube isn't a thing. It's not one thing. It's whatever you want it to be. So we kind of looked at that. We looked at a lot of Niga Higa videos when he was making them. A lot of sit-down stuff. We weren't very into that. We weren't very into the sit-down stuff. But we did make a lot of them. They're private now on the channel. But we made a lot of like, we hung like a bed sheet behind us that like no one seen before. And was like, all right, cool. It's a new bed sheet. I bought it. About this bed sheet, this is our set design. So we used to do really weird stuff like that, and we used to do Q&A videos all the time. Compared to like others who would never do that, they would never get to. I felt like always we felt like you need to create a bond with your audience.
Yes, absolutely.
Very important.
Yeah.
And no one used to do that. They should just be like, I'm gonna make videos, and my character in those videos is what they're gonna know.
Yeah.
Opposite of what we wanted to do. We wanted them to kind of know us and what we were.
Right.
Kind of different from where other people, at least here, were trying to do with YouTube.
Right.
Yeah. It's not personality based at all.
With this podcast, what I kind of wanted to have with each episode is have like an overarching theme, right? And for your episode, one thing that attracts me the most about your work is the niche that you pick, right? It's either like it's super niche, but yet you're very successful in that niche. And one thing, obviously, that's what a lot of people say, that you pick a niche, you'll be able to get stuff out of it. But it's almost never the case. If you can pick, someone who loves green colored cardboards and try marketing to them, it's just so hard.
It's hard. Yeah. Finding every single person who
loves
likes
green colored cardboards. It's just. But in that case, obviously, you were not in that path where you have failed. So how do you pick that niche, and what's your process? And is it just because you love something, you're like, I want to stick to it, or do you actually study your market beforehand? Because doing the YouTube stuff back at that time, it was Jenna Marbles, sure, but your audience wasn't
Jenna Marbles' audience.
Exactly. It was local. It was new. It was again a niche that you have to pick. Your thing with Verb is also the same.
Yeah.
Fashion consultancy, it's like
it doesn't exist.
Correct.
Yeah, it doesn't exist until we kind of that's exactly what we me and my sister and then me and my partners at Verb, what we kind of always have thought is you create the market, because as media leads in whichever field, you would be the one creating the market. Right. The moment you put stuff out, they'll be like, oh, they're doing that, and then other people might follow, and if they don't follow, then you know that it's either too hard to follow or like pull off, which will be like, damn, while I'm pulling it off, what's going on? Or it's bound to fail, and then that's just the gamble you take as a creator. If you're a creator, you're gambling all day. It's casino all day. Right. You're gambling the whole time because you're coming down to risk factor of putting yourself out there, because it's always scary. There's always insecurity coming down to like, oh, there's 100 people, 200 people watching me total. But those 200 people, I do not know. I don't know what their opinion of me is.
Yes.
But it's a gamble.
Right.
It's like, I hope. They're hitting like, I guess.
Yes. I mean, even your newest thing, Povitra Dunya, which is like a very fashion-based.
Yeah, it's a very,
it's something that obviously someone who has, I guess fashion is a very unique subject in this regard, because you either really like it or you absolutely don't. And some people would think it's either very awesome, or some people think, oh, it's just people just making it seem like what it is. It's like modern art.
It's modern art. I mean, so much of fashion is modern art, and so much of fashion is art.
So
and then
again, going into that kind of avenue.
I'm a big modern art fan as well.
Correct.
Like my home is decked out with as much like local modern art as I could find.
So picking that again niche, like what was your thinking process and thinking, you know what, I love fashion so much, I'm just going to go ahead with that, or like tell me about that.
My thing was obviously because I'm fashion focused creative director.
Right.
So what I wanted to be is like, I wanted because I don't have a portfolio. Obviously I have a portfolio.
Yeah.
But that's stuff that I've made.
Right.
But I want people to know what my taste is.
What you're thinking.
What I'm thinking all the time, what my taste is. When you come to me, what do you get?
Right.
So like the bio of that is like a fashion dump from the mind of creative director Fahad Reaz Khan. So it's like it really is exactly what it's a dump of what I'm thinking, what I'm going through, what I'm finding on the internet, and what I'm finding in books and stuff. So you'll see me like go through like the Bangladesh old photos archive, but find the most fashionable moments from there and post that. Right. I was going through that, and I was like also finding these books that I have in my home, and like finding like fashionable or like career defining moments by fashion forward people.
Right.
So there's like a lot of people who are philanthropists, but their fashion is insane, but no one talks about it. Right. So I wanted to kind of bring that up. I was like, these people are very famous for being such good people. Yeah. But also look at that suit though. Like that suit fire. You're just saying stuff like that because I wanted to bring out what also it's very Bangladesh focused. Povitra Dunya's concept is like, we're talking about like Zagman McQueen, we're talking about Jean-Paul Gaultier, but we're also talking about
Ayub
Bachchu, straight heat, bro. He was in front of his car, like as a Cadillac or something. He's just standing in front of a Cadillac with this. That is now fashion. Like the stuff him and LRB were wearing.
On that photo shoot.
And that photo shoot. is what people wear now.
Yeah.
And we're looking at someone who was ahead of their time, and also, of course, fashion is cyclical. So we came back to it. But that person unabashedly did that.
Right.
And I bet you did that, and we got it. And then there's a photo of Rabindranath with his sunglasses on, right? Those sunglasses are in now.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I've
So
seen that
it's
picture.
cyclical. So
Right.
he's in his car. Like that was like the last 4
I
years
think I've
in
seen
his
that
car with his
picture.
sunglasses on, just
in the car. Yeah, that's
straight
right.
posted up, you know?
Far out.
I was like, that's fire. So I was like, I need to, because I wanted to bring out whatever. And then there's these, there was a poetry meet at one point. I'm
Right.
forgetting her name, but she's an incredible poet. She was a poet. And then this other guy who's also a poet, and they were like talking. And then they were dressed incredibly. But this is from Banashol Photos Archive. And I was finding it. So these are incredible, like these are Bengali people who had such, and also there's a promotional photo from the Intercontinental Hotel.
Right.
From like the 80s.
Okay.
Right. When, from the 80s, when like Bangladesh was going through this metropolitan stage where there were still so many expatriates here.
Right.
Right after we'd kind of settled down from war times and from from every piece of like kind of turmoil.
Yeah.
So the Intercontinental Hotel
Yeah.
had some promotions going. I was like, hey, you're here.
Yeah.
Look, white people, y'all out here. Stay at our spot. Right.
Yeah.
But then what they had was this like very beautiful shot. And then like it basically felt like a screenshot of culture at the time. So we kind of don't have too many of those. There's not too many people who had cars going through and cars going through. Not too many people had cameras. What I was saying is like not too many people could like photograph and keep screenshots of stuff like that, snapshots of culture and of the time.
Yeah. And I guess for you, that's making sure that gets.
I feel like that needs to be amplified always. And of course, these photos exist. These photos exist, and you can find them. But what if I could just amplify it and like kind of put it up on my audience? And of course, that's also a reflection of who I am. I'm just being honest. Like that's kind of helps me promote me and be like, this is who. What I think is cool.
Instead of putting, I guess, Povitra Dunia, which is your handle for this fashion dump.
Yeah.
Instead of having that as a separate entity that you can really monetize, rather it's something that complements you as a creative director.
It's like carrying around a book and then showing it.
Right.
Yeah, it's like carrying on this like booklet. Be like,
correct.
This is everything I like. This is everything I like.
Right.
And you know that's why it's in my like my main page bio as well.
Right.
So look at this book to Dunia to go look at that for like my, because I can't really like populate my normal Instagram full of that. Yeah. What ends up happening is I lose this other group of followers who came to me not for fashion.
Correct.
So there's obviously the large group of people who came to me without without fashion and stuff. So there's that.
Why Povitra Dunia?
That's my name. Povitro is my name.
Oh, really?
So it's Fahad Reaz Khan Povitro. And but also I felt like there's nothing, no one looks at fashion as if it's holy in any way or povitra in any way.
Right.
But when it's a good dichotomy. It's a good. It's like when
good
I say
juxtaposition.
Good juxtaposition. It's like, oh look, Povitra Dunia.
Yeah.
The Povitra Dunia, and then
it's a sticky name.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's on purpose. It's like kind of prickly, the name. When you go to it, then and it's all just like Jean-Paul Gaultier bodysuits. Like what's going on? Alexander McQueen, like just skulls. Skull bodysuit with fake tail.
Yeah, like I don't know where you'd get that, but yeah.
No, you wouldn't. That's the whole thing. Like Alexander McQueen.
Yeah.
So he puts that on the runway, so you get his sneaker that says McQueen on it.
Right. That's
so he's like,
sick.
oh, cool, $700 white sneaker with the word McQueen on it. I want it. That's the guy who made the skeleton suit.
What is a typical day like for a creative director such as yourself?
All right. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I have to ask myself too. This morning I woke up and asked my dad, what did I do yesterday? And my dad was like, you need to sleep more.
Right.
But I now remember what I did yesterday because I looked at my Instagram stories. My calendar has a lot of stuff in it. That's clearly what it is. I'm also studying, which is wasn't studying this whole time. I just studied. I'm studying at LSE, which is the London School of Commerce. It's like a proxy school.
And what's your degree?
Business.
Okay.
I'm studying business. I'm studying business mostly because, so I went to IUB. So this is like me talking about my real shit. So I went to IUB and I studied media communications. Yeah. But then I left because I was not really getting anything out of it. Right. Really, for the longest time, I wasn't. And I found LSE, which is what I wanted to do anyway. Okay. And my sister goes there as well. And she really loved it, and it's really close to my house. Right. Everything is good, and also LSE you can like miss classes and it's not a problem. Right. Okay. Because in IUB you miss classes, they call the cops. It's a whole thing. But yeah, that's why. But I'm studying that now.
Yeah.
That's also in my calendar as well. I have to do every Monday and Wednesday. I got to go do that.
Yeah.
There's that. But
So
on a day, I'll check when I'll wake up and I'll be like, okay, Google, good morning, and then on the good morning, I say good morning. It'll tell me the weather. It'll tell me and then it'll tell me my schedule today, and then I'll just follow it. Whatever. It's everything. Every day is different.
Yeah.
Every day is completely different. There's no schedule.
So literally every day it'd be something else for you.
Yeah, every day is. I usually work will start if it's work or shoots and stuff. That'll start at like 6 a.m.
Right.
7 a.m. max.
So you don't have like a routine per se, like let's say the morning routine morning now. So do you have any specific rituals that you follow before going to bed? In
the morning. So in the morning, what I'll do is the Google Assistant will automatically play the podcast that I was listening to last night.
Right.
And so also Sleep Tracker will automatically shut it down when I fall asleep.
Yeah.
So and I'll just pick it up from there.
Right.
They'll pick it up 6 minutes or 7 minutes before. There, so I'll continue that.
Yeah.
And I'll do that while I brush my teeth and make breakfast or something.
Yeah.
I'll make a lot of breakfast. I am on a not a strict diet, but I'm on a very, very strict diet.
Right. Okay.
But that is entirely because of my health. I had some health complications earlier in the year.
Right.
And now I'm just a complete like an annoying vegan.
Is it like is it enforced on you because of your health complications, or actually like is it because like if you
little bit. So it's a combination.
Yeah.
I already didn't used to eat any mammal
mammal
products or like eat any mammal stuff.
Yeah.
So that was just a ethical choice. I kind of slowly moving towards veganism.
Right.
But this kind of fast tracked it. So it's like I'm not allowed to have anything fried.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to have any kind of dairy stuff.
All
right. So I'm not allowed to have. There's a couple of vegetables I can have, and then there's. I can't have, what else is there?
Sugar?
No cheese, obviously. No sugar at all. Zero sugar. Low carb.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, mostly boiled stuff, low oil. Yeah. But, I can eat really spicy food, so that's what I do now. I'll just do noodles, veg noodles, and sriracha. No, sriracha is great. No, but like I'll do like a lot of sriracha, and it just becomes sriracha soup. Yeah, do that.
Essentially, for no routine, like... For you as a creative person, do you have a routine in terms of getting ideas out or anything that?
So you see, I have this bag, right? So in the bag, it's like a fanny pack, but I carry it like a backpack.
Right.
And what's in it is notebook, and writing stuff down and drawing stuff is much more cathartic.
Right.
Getting stuff out of your brain is important. Yeah. So I'll be in the car just like drawing and like writing stuff and creating like. So I posted this thing on Instagram where it's like I have a notebook where I write, where I have storyboards, and I just storyboard and do storyboard shots of shows that I want to make, and and they're all in process. So when I posted that, people are like, "Oh my god, it's so inspiring!" But like, it's not like I wish one day I will be able. These are all being made. Right. So this is like it's not. I mean, I have this like weird motto, which is like I have it all over my everywhere. It's like it says. My motto is like, don't dream.
Yeah.
And the reason behind that mostly is because that's a waste of time.
Right.
You could be doing it.
Yeah.
So you could just be doing, just go and do the thing.
Right.
Instead of like dreaming about it. The dreaming about it feels like, oh, I'm dreaming about it, so I'm done.
Right.
So I'm like, no, you're not done. Correct. You have to now do it.
It's interesting because a lot of the time, and I used to still struggle with it sometimes, was if I wanted to lose weight.
Yeah.
Right. I would watch a video first about a motivational gym session or something like that. Yeah. Or if I wanted to do something, I would watch a Gary Vee video first. And it feels like, or you attend a seminar and go to a motivational talk, that so many people get stuck in this
loop.
It's a loop. Yeah. And because that's the lowest hanging fruit you can pick from
and
this
it's
tree.
Easy. It's so easy.
Easy, and but your brain thinks, you're doing something.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're on the way.
You took a step.
Correct.
But taking a step is great, but that's not a step towards doing it. That's more of a step towards feeling like I should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my whole thing, like I have this sign in my room that I got from my sister got me, and it says "Don't dream" on it. It's like it's this thing. It's this thing that says "Don't dream." Yeah. So it's just. That's kind of the motto, because the moment you have an idea, you can now start implementing it and start doing it, and you can just go for it.
Right.
And if you see and definitely like dream একটা জিনিস একটা হচ্ছে like pre-planning and like storyboarding. That's not dreaming. You're really doing it. That's a step towards doing it. That's
absolutely.
So dreaming একটা জিনিস. Dreaming is like you're doing one thing and implementation is different. So like I do that. So that's why I say like, you know, drawing. So having a notebook is like very important. So I have have a notebook.
And do you plan these things ahead of time? That okay, this is the time I would do it. Is it more like when inspiration comes, you just go at it?
No, that's why I carry it everywhere. Like it's a this thing like thin, like 50-page total, maybe maximum like 50 pages.
Right.
Notebook, and it can keep in your pocket and stuff. Like that's the why you should have something like that with you at all time. My dad got me this pen that folds up to this small.
Right.
So I mean, just carrying it with you is important. The thing is, like, you know, like Casey Neistat will be like, the best camera you have is the one in your pocket. Obviously the best notebook and the best thing you have is the one you keep one in your pocket.
Correct.
I mean, obviously you can keep notes and stuff, but I just felt it was cathartic to have a notebook.
Makes sense.
But like always,
and also research shows as well that writing something down, you remember it more.
And then like putting it on paper kind of is like, I am now solidifying it. It's on paper. You have to do it.
Absolutely. Yes.
So because you put it on an app and you just go to the next app and it's like, oh, now my phone is now Instagram. And you're stuck in Instagram now.
How do you maintain your Instagram stories though, man? Like, it's a ridiculous amount of work.
It feels like work to you is why you shouldn't probably.
Right.
For me, that's just, so I used to vlog.
Right.
When Snapchat came out, I kind of toned it down. And the reason I used to vlog was like capturing moments, putting it up later. Snapchat came out, was like capturing moments, putting it up now. Instagram stories came out, capturing moments is so much faster. And doesn't need that much battery. And it's great. So I'm like capturing moments, putting it up immediately. Capturing moments and like finding ways to show the way I see it. So like if there's like a cool shot in it, I'm like there shooting it in the way that I would like to see this like image. So stories, like stories, and like also I'll like reshare also like stuff.
But would you call yourself a perfectionist in that case? Because like do you take the same shot twice and think, this looks better, or do you just go like just one after the other?
Man, this is some like, this is gonna sound super pretentious. I don't do the shot again because I get it every time. No, because my aesthetic has always been like much more handheld and very grunge, raw, and then that's why
that works for your aesthetic.
But I've always maintained it. So like if the shot is a little, one thing is it's not going to be shaky. That's one of my things that I maintain is it's not going to be like janky. It's not going to be janky, but what's going to be is like, oh look, I got this weird guy scratching his stomach. That's what I saw, and that's what's going to be in the story.
And I guess that's why you can carry out this for you can sustain for it for so long, because and I feel the same with Casey, I guess, talking about him, because his aesthetic is so raw. That's fine to have that font up there as the start, or it's fine to have those very, I guess, not so professional stuff that people think, but it is in essence professional, because you're constantly doing it.
He's constantly doing it, and he's done it more than anyone else. Absolutely. So of course he's the authority on it now. How did Casey Neistat become the authority in vlogging? He started vlogging after all the vloggers were done vlogging. You know, so then he started his vlogs and stuff. Our YouTube videos were based around his videos, but that's before he started vlogging. So I used to watch. I think the first ever one I watched was his Ray-Ban spray paint video, where he spray painted his Ray-Ban, like made them all like white and stuff. And obviously I did it myself because I'm influenced like crazy always. So
we all are.
I'm just always influenced by like everything that I think is cool and that kind of aesthetic, and just that's the kind of video. So the cutting of that video felt so exactly like what I wanted to do, and I just started cutting my videos, like my YouTube videos like that, my vlogs like that as well. And just like, then there's like music that I was like, I was finding a lot of really cool trance music, and I was making like a lot of house music that I was finding people like, this music is amazing. I was like, this is really just a lot of SoundCloud artists. Same with Casey. Casey will literally find SoundCloud artists and be like, that's great, I want to use it. You don't hear Casey's music anywhere else.
Well, now you do.
Now it's like everywhere. Now it's everywhere. My God.
Obviously he did every day, and you mentioned something about Verb as well, that how you're holding your stuff before you want to make sure that it looks right, it feels right.
That's the sense of perfectionism. Verb creates content that, in our eyes at least, is perfect. We will go through like 2,000 photos and select 7.
Right.
So this is not something other people do. They'll dump like 75 images for a campaign, and that's just
Right.
not who's going through your 75 images.
Exactly. Yeah.
Create, because it's a grid on Instagram, create 9 solid images.
Yeah.
And you never need to. Why is one outfit being shot? Like, this is like me ranting. Why does one outfit need to be shot 6 times?
Yeah.
It's one outfit. One outfit gets one shot.
Yeah.
If you look at like, everyone loves looking at Vogue. Look at Vogue.
Yeah.
And see like when they did the recent stuff with Jennifer Lawrence, how they did 4 photos total, and they're all 4 different outfits, 4 different sets, and there's only there are no other photos from that shoot.
Yeah.
There's 4 photos from that shoot. The amount of work and the amount of people, the amount of manpower, the amount of video work, photography work that went into it for 4 total images. That's why the 4 total images will be like legendary in Jennifer Lawrence's life at least.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, that's what we kind of embody.
Right.
We're creating this campaign coming up, and one outfit has one image, and every single outfit is its own set design. Every single outfit is its own video.
Right.
I just finished the videos yesterday.
Oh, fantastic.
We'll look at it right after.
Yeah. Actually, this comes out in February next year. So.
Yeah, we'll look at it right after.
Right.
Yeah, you and I. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So this is coming out in February. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. St. Valentine's were invented by Hallmark to sell cards.
Random fact.
Fact.
So
it's fake facts.
I guess with Verb again, speaking about that quality, what is quality to you?
Oh man.
And it doesn't have to be specific to fashion, or it could be
quality
something in general.
I mean, I wanted to. I always say, like, when you make something, your audience should like look at it and feel something, and not like, it doesn't have to be like pretty. And to me, it's like, oh, the background's beautiful. Yeah. Like that does. But what is? It's not speaking to my audience. Then I'm not getting the exact result what I wanted. So my audience to like look at it. It's the same. That's why I look at modern art as like an example for everything. So modern art's whole concept isn't to be like, this is so beautiful. Yeah. It's really just you look at it like, God damn. Like you look at modern art and you feel, and that's the point. So like embodying fashion as modern art is what fashion is as well. So when you look at the Gucci 2018 fall campaign had crazy stuff, some insane prop designs, insane set design. Yeah. When you looked at the set, you're like, what? Who wants that? Yeah. Nobody wants that. But then of course, you bought Gucci products. Yeah. Like people have been buying Gucci products. It's like when you looked at that, you felt something, and then you Pavlovian response, look at a shoe with like 3 red, green, stripes, and you look at like, oh, that's the one. I need that. Right. And there's kind of this response. I think like my audience needs to see that for me, once I can make my audience feel something, that is perfect. I don't need to touch
essentially it becomes subjective in that case, because somebody's audience will be completely different.
Obviously. And then we're kind of like aiming with Verb, we're aiming for this like fashion forward audience. We want them to also change kind of the game of fashion in the way where so much of the audience is used to seeing exactly the same thing again every year, every campaign. So we're kind of here to like, every brand we work with, we make a campaign that isn't like any of their previous ones. That might be a shocking thing for the audience, because every brand has fans. Like you can say like, oh, what kind of fans does Artisan have? Like, no, man. Yeah, they have fans. Like, what kind of fans does Yellow have? They have fans.
Of course.
People who, whenever they think of Punjabi, go to Yellow. That's a fan of Yellow. Yeah. And thus, if you want to shock a fan of Yellow, I mean, as the owner, you wouldn't want to shock them. You wouldn't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna lose them if I shock them. So you don't want to lose them. You're looking at him because he's a fan of Yellow.
No.
No. But you don't want to shock him.
Right.
So it's also it's a convincing game as well on our end. Convincing the owners, be like, listen, change the game, and they're like, no. What if I lose my whole audience? It's like, no, this is good. So we do. But that's what. To come back to the question, is like perfection is like making the audience feel something, right? Be it shock or be it anything. Right. Yeah.
And I guess talking about creative side of things, do you go through creative ruts, creative blocks where you can't function?
I can't really afford to go through that, because that's like bread and butter. That's constant. That's but creative ruts in the sense where, so I do a couple things. So I'll write. I'll do screenplay. We're working on the screenplay right now, and I'll also do fashion stuff. Yeah. So if I'm ever going on a fashion rut, I have this like very great support system, which is my other partners who like incredibly like. We're always sending like inspiration, fashion for inspiration to the group chat that we have, and the group chat really helps. And then in the writing sense, like I'll speak to my sister and then we'll talk about writing, and she'll send me like an ad from Guatemala, which is like, yo, this ad crazy. So it's inspiration can be found in 100,000 things. So that's how we kind of figure out where. That's how we kind of figure out like getting out of the rut is. The support system really helps for me especially, and I can't afford to kind of be in a rut because every day we're working like we don't have off days at all. So kind of having to do the job.
And what is it that, I guess, in terms of failures, what would be your biggest one in terms of learnings, and if any, from it?
I mean, failures wise, I mean, if we dive deep, failures wise, there's a couple things that I've done that I didn't get the result that I wanted it to. There's those as well. Those are back on its feet, failures in the way where the world had changed by the time I had finalized the project. Advertising stuff, campaigns that we've designed for brands, where it's like, oh, this thing fell off. This whole concept fell off before we could even. Those are kind of the failures. But it's really more of like fighting the clock on that, because we want to, of course, there's another perfectionist thing where it's like, I want to make it great, but also like, you got to get it out there so quick, and like movies and stuff. So there's these movies that are like, so Irishman came out, was written so long ago, and the screenplay was done, casting done, table reads done, right? And they produced it 16 years later or something like that. You come down to like, isn't it so terrifying to make something 16 years ago and say, I want it, and it's coming out 16 years later. Hope they like it. My 16 years ago brain made it. Hope they like it. And it's like, that's tough. For me, always the fear of like, what if like, not about the audience, like, of course, can be fearful of the audience. You have to give them you can't give them what they want. You have to give them what. There's so many people who say that. You can't give them what they want all the time. You got to tell them what they want. They don't know what they want. But there's also a big fear of like, obviously the audience is king in the sense where without them, you can't make it. Such a symbiotic. Like without them, you can't make, and without.
So I guess your
my whole thing is like, it's my fear of failure is always down to because I'm such a pleaser of the audience, but still being in the sense where I want to make what I want to make, and also pleasing the audience. This is a combination, so that's where failure comes from. It's
interesting because that's what modern creators have to do, is ensure, and then like you said, fighting the clock, because if you can't get something out there by the time that the audience needs it, they'll just absolutely, reject it. But going back to, I guess, the greatest painters and the sculptors, and they would take years and years and years for one piece of work.
And then it comes out and the audience loves it.
Exactly. It's like they probably have like 4 or 5 big projects that they would have done back in the 1400s or 1500s.
There's like in the 15th century Himalayan painters. So my wallpaper, I would love to show it. This thing.
Go for it.
This is a wallpaper. This is Himalayan art, right?
Okay.
So this is 14th century Himalayan art. 14th century Himalayan art. That person's job was to do just that painting.
Okay.
His whole life.
So
what are you even like?
Right.
It's like, he's working on this painting. It's like, what's his job? He's working on this painting.
Right.
They're like, what's that? So he's this week he's making the color pink. He's like, what's that? He's inventing this color called pink. So it's like, how? So he's cutting up bugs. So that's art. To me, where it's like, modern art exists in one way, and then there's another art which is like
absolutely technical,
and creating, like, being like, so the human skin is this color. It's like, all right, so we don't have paint.
No.
So let's invent that color now. So sitting down and doing that. So that's another technical aspect of it. So that's what, imagining the way you were saying, Renaissance painters used to put so much work into it. Imagine like the Himalayan painters, like we love, there's a lot of westernized thought processes in this world, but like Himalayan paint, that's like, we can walk there. People have trekked we get to Tibet, we can trek to where Himalayan painters used to paint. You go check it out. And you see that the soil is like discolored because they've used it all making paintings, and they still do. And then there's this whole perfectionist thought process there as well. So I love looking at those guys and being like, okay, if they can do that, don't be fearful, don't be like, scared of like they literally invented stuff. They'd be like, pink is cool, I think so I'll make it.
I mean, going
it's personal
from then to now, who do you think are killing it in the industry right now?
Killing it in the industry? Which industry?
Because the fashion industry
here in Dhaka, in the
world.
world.
Yeah, both
in the world,
global and international. Maybe name one each.
Okay, so
global
globally,
and local. Yeah.
One of my favorite global artists, right? I got two women who are killing it. Iris Van Herpen, killing it. Just everything I see Iris Van Herpen do, I'm like, okay, here, just take everything I have. Please just give me one speck of one string you make. Great. Iris Van Herpen, insane, 3D printed and 3D designed dresses that wow the runway beyond belief. There's no one who goes to Iris Van Herpen shows like, okay. No, everyone's jaw drops.
Right.
That's one. And then Claire White Keller for Givenchy does incredible work and took Givenchy to where it is now. Of course, Pier Paolo Piccolo, who is the head of Valentino now, incredible stuff. Collaboration with Moncler, incredible stuff. So these are some people I look at and it's like, oh, I'll never be like them. Right. But no, you shouldn't do that. But like, those are some of the people here. I mean, I'm a big fan of my sister. Raba Khan is doing incredible work always. That's one of the things that I always do.
Right.
Always say as well. She's just really doing some crazy stuff as well. Her work with awareness about children's rights as well is insane. She's working with UNICEF as well, working with ActionAid, working with UNDP now, coming up about cyberbullying. Taking the cyberbullying steps.
Right.
Just constantly doing that. So I'm a big fan of Raba Khan as well.
Right. Fantastic.
But that's a kind of a cop out. So I don't want to. I mean, and of course, Verb is doing incredible work.
It's another cop out.
Another cop out. I have to think about it for sure. But there's some people who do some really good stuff. So in the fashion world, Musard Rahman, she went back to study, like to help the country more. She went back to study sustainability in fashion, so she can come back and make even more sustainable stuff. So that's a shout out to Musard Rahman, incredible stuff. She's also one of the nicest people in the world.
Right.
Yeah, to me and to every single person she's ever met. Yeah, sometimes to her demerit.
I wish we had the time, but I would love to talk about fast fashion and sustainability. How much longer do we have?
24 minutes.
Left? Are we on 24?
24.
Okay.
You
were just really edging it, but yes, but it's fine. We'll just kind of like what are your thoughts on sustainable fashion?
I mean, I try to rewear as much as possible, especially after I was, of course, saw a couple documentaries, changed my life.
Yeah.
Obviously, kind of like pushed me towards the thing. I mean, we also live here. This is what it's about. Like the world is something. Don't do fast fashion. Is affecting the people.
Yeah.
We're the people. No, not we, but Bangladesh is one of the countries that leads in producing fast fashion pieces, and it's affecting so many people's lives as well as affecting the world's greenhouse gases. Blah. Like there's what a long. It's
literally the future.
The future is being ruined by you wearing a T-shirt. You know what I mean? Like you were really just wearing a T-shirt one time and throwing it out is what's ruining the world.
Right.
So what we have now in Bangladesh as well. So it's very easy. You know that you can just wash your clothes.
Wow. What?
Yeah. So I have a lot of peers who I know for a fact have like, oh, I wore this to an event. I'm not.
Yeah.
No way am I wearing like there's that, but like that a lot of the fashion. This is also the point, also the job of the people who are making it to make it rewearable. Yeah. You can't make an outfit exactly one way and then never rewearable and that's mine. And also, some people are working very closely here in Bangladesh about clothes swapping.
Yep.
Very cool. Broke is a company that remakes clothes. That's awesome.
Yep.
Takes clothes, sustainably reorganizes it to make it into a different piece. So if it's a sari, it's a suit now. If it's a Punjabi, it's a koti now. It's a this, it's a this. It's like a switch up. Yeah. Using the fabrics and making it into something else so you don't waste materials.
That's fantastic.
That's incredible. Broke. BROQUE.
Yeah, I know the
great stuff. Zubair is doing the photography for it as well, and Minaz is doing so there's that. So Bangladesh is taking steps. There's people who are taking steps, and there's I went to a clothes swap recently. They're swapping clothes between people. I got a lot of stuff. I gave a lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right, we'll just end it here with one final question.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to do what you do, what are 3 or just one big actionable step that they can take
to do what I do?
Yeah. Essentially, I mean, like what's one thing that they'll be like, I want to be a creative director. I want to be in the fashion industry doing what Fahad Reaz Khan does.
Yeah.
What can I do right now, right after this podcast?
Yeah.
And do it, essentially.
I mean, it's just, if you believe that you have the fashion knowledge to do it, then you've already made most of the steps, right? If you think that if you as a creator, like obviously anytime you're working in a field like this, you're a creator now,
right?
You know, like I haven't made a piece of of course my Instagram doesn't count,
right?
I haven't made a piece of content for me in so long. Obviously, I've made it that satisfies me.
Yeah.
But you're a creator, you're making. So if you're making, you're already so close to it being there. So like you've already taken 2 of the 3 steps. The last step would be to actually contact a brand, have a portfolio, show it, and just go for it.
The salesy side of things.
Every single part, salesy side. You just sell yourself. Absolutely. So important to sell yourself. Yeah. And because that's the opposite of a sellout, is because you're doing it. Sellout would be like, hey, I'm going to forfeit the art for money. Yeah. And the opposite is like, I'm going to do the art for money.
Right.
And I'm going to be paid for doing it. That's awesome. That will allow you to do it more.
Right.
And every time you get a client, you now have a stronger portfolio, blah, 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 and continuously. And also like, we're looking for interns all the time at Verb because obviously work with us for like 6 months. You can you just go do your own thing after that. Really, because we don't want like having someone and
just keep them forever.
Keep them forever. It's like,
this is draw the Himalayan paint. All
like
the life.
This is just, and then don't give them credit. We would always want that. We don't want an intern to just be an intern forever. We definitely would love it. Would love it. It'd be awesome and do incredible experience. We do like 3 campaigns a month. Yeah. Wow. So that's a lot of work and you'll get a lot of experience. I feel like
any plugins?
Yeah. My plugs, Fahad Reaz Khan on Instagram, Pavitra on Instagram. Yeah. And vrbworks, vrbworks on Instagram. Yeah.
Love the name.
It's on Instagram.
Thanks, Fahad.
No problem. Thank you, Tausif. Handshake.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Cheers, bud.